Hello again. It's time for another episode of Fat Guy with a Ponytail, where we detail more of the adventures of bariatric surgery in progress. So, the big news this go round is I lived. Um, we've been building up for the big gig where we actually play the show, my first show, um, outside festival post surgery, and still in soft food stage. It's very critical that I stay hydrated and things like that, so where there was some concern about that. Also, in other news, we've broken through that annoying plateau, and we continue to hit, those moments where you're plateauing. I think we're at 304 at this point, although I haven't weighed in 2 days. That's probably a good thing. We were hoping for getting under that 300 number for the gig. Didn't happen, but that's okay. The gig went on, and I will say that my energy levels were up by and large, and that I didn't have the usual, oh my god, I'm going to die feelings. We played hard. We played a very long first set, and yeah, so hey, that's the big news, is that I lived. Also went through the Orioles game, and that that also was another night out on soft foods where, again, made it, no problem. Got to, I think, the eighth inning. They lost in the end, and that's how that kind of thing goes. Nonetheless, uh, Dad and I went out, and we did learn a few things. So I'll take this episode to express one of the discoveries. They tell you that it's crucial for you to stay hydrated. Even when you first get out of surgery, it's like, don't worry if you don't hit your protein goals. That's 70 to 100. Not as important as getting those 64 ounces minimum water inside your person. And the real trick to that is, I don't know if they undersell it or everybody's body's different, probably a combination of the two. But what I learned, in particular when we were on the way to the baseball game, is that in this new physiology that they've engineered here, um, dehydration comes on really violent and strong. So where before, if I'm dehydrated, I start to cramp a little bit and I start to feel exhausted. Um, this is like falling off of a cliff. Like, one moment I'm fine and I'm riffing in the car with my dad, just talking about work and yada yada. The next thing you know, right around my midsection here, it feels like, honestly, the closest approximation I can have for you is, um, if you've ever had one of those tests where they're monitoring your heart, or a treadmill where they've got that piece of rubber that goes around there to, again, monitor your heart, your pulse rate. Imagine that, but then suddenly it's cinching incredibly tight across your chest, um, or in this case, right here in the midsection. Um, at any rate, it's a combination of nausea and readiness to pass out all at once. We were driving in my dad's pickup truck on the way to the game. We got close to the airport, and suddenly I'm like, oh my god, I feel terrible. And I'm thinking, man, I'm a little low on water. I've been monitoring, so I knew that much. Unfortunately, he had a bottle of water, so we tried that. And sure enough, as soon as that got into my system and I worked my way through that bottle, and was feeling much better as more of that got into my system. So that was so that's what dehydration feels like with this new system. It's kind of scary. So they're not joking when they say stay on top of those 64 ounces, and it's really a minimum of 64 ounces. Shoot for 100, honestly, at least with respect to my new universe. That being said, um, the gig and the situation with piracy is stressful, and there's a lot that I've got going on and a lot that I'm doing. So I wasn't as disciplined about keeping that fluid thing going. I was on stage and I was trying to do every other song. I'm told that I was not doing every other song, or keeping pace, but I was keeping pace better than I have in the past. I didn't feel woozy. I didn't feel anything else strange. So I was actively trying, and I was pumping in water and protein water and vitamin water zero into my system as fast as it could take it. Um, Couple negatives about this situation too is, um, so we travel and stay in a hotel, and so when we leave in the house, the amount of crap that I have to carry with me to go travel is kind of a pain. Where before it was just like, okay, I've got enough pirate crap to go and do stuff. So, waistcoat, trousers, slops, shoes, all that other stuff. Now added to that is, oh, I need the calcium citrate, I need the daily vitamins, I need to make sure I've got the protein water, the protein shake, the other waters, because just regular old water may not be available, something to keep all that stuff cold, on and on and on and on. Not a big fan of traveling heavy. It's never been my thing. So that was a struggle. um, and what else? I guess during the gig everything went well. I think the other thing that happens is, the the tightness and the dizziness starts to happen pretty quick. Um, I mean, I've said that, but like at this moment in time, I'm also running right this very instant a bit behind on the water, and I need to put that intake in. The challenge is now that we're on soft foods, I eat and then I've got to wait 30 minutes before I can drink anything. So once you get behind, catching up is a little bit more challenging, and you really got to stay on top of it. Plus, you've got to keep all those pills coming in at the same time, and remember all that. And I've got an app on here to do that kind of stuff to help me do that, and timers and all that other stuff. But also, when you're doing soft foods, it's chew 25 to 30 times each bite. Munch, munch, put the thing down. Chew, 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 and then swallow. Then next, and wait your 30 minutes before you can have a drink of anything, and get on with your day. Another weird anomaly, which is to be expected. We already had a discussion about portion size and how do you know when you're full. So I'm looking for different signs, and I'm starting to figure those out. And I guess hindsight being 2020, that was the point of being home. Was not so much, certainly healing of the stomach and taking care of yourself and the wounds, but also, um, relearning how to eat, and things are behaving a little differently here. So as I do that, I've realized that yes, full is roughly like today. Simple thing. We're driving. We left the hotel this morning. We go, you know what? We should probably stop someplace and grab something to eat. I think you can get eggs anywhere. So we stop at Denny's, and I get a Grand Slam breakfast, knowing that I'm not going to be able to eat it all, but wondering, okay, what am I going to be able to eat? And the answer is, one sausage, one of the tiny little breakfast links, not even the complete sausage. I couldn't eat the whole thing, and 4 bites of eggs. Um, so with 4 bites of eggs with cheese and that, I was like, okay, wow. And this was the same thing the night before when we were doing lunch. My new full is, we got some cold cuts because I'm allowed to have roast beef, turkey, ham, those things. So I got some roast beef, some horseradish cheddar, and some regular cheddar. Made a little meat roll up, and I made 2 of those. It seemed to be in the space of one, chew slowly, do the 25, 30 times, and then I get through half of the other meat roll up, and then I'm just like, yep, body's telling me you're done. You don't need any more food. And I guess that's the other struggle with this. That's particularly interesting. Is I like food. I mean, obviously, but the taste. It's interesting. It's fun. Um, and if you like something, you want to do more of it. So with food, it's like, oh well, this egg is really good. I'm going to eat all of the egg that I have. And with this layout, it's like, no. It can celebrate the fact that you can have that bit of egg and enjoy what that tastes like, but that moment is going to be, um, I guess, the equivalent of a food one night stand, and not a long one. It's short. It's it's ships that pass in the night. So whatever you get to taste, be thankful that you get it. You're not going to have a lot of it, and you move on. And the good news, it'll be there tomorrow, or it'll be there at the next meal, so you can have it again. Um, it's just a really weird thing. Blueberries and strawberries, same thing. It's like I had a strawberry, had three today, um, but that was almost a separate meal, and one meat roll up. Um, this is it's odd. I guess it'll take some getting used to, but I'm trying to respect sort of like, all right, so half cup is our new portion size, and we'll portion that out ahead of time. Um, so in general, I think that's how it's going. And the gig went well, and that might be it for the season. We're not sure. What's next on the radar is, I guess, 2 more weeks of this, and oh, and let me not say enough things about papaya enzyme. That I think things moving along. I was very afraid of papaya enzyme. It doesn't sound good. It sounds like I'm going to take something out of a test tube. Um, but there's a lot of studies out there apparently that papaya is good. So we get the papaya enzyme at the GNC little pill. You chew on it. I get 3 of those. Munch on that. That's supposed to help keep things moving along, and that seems to be doing its job. Um, Important because the body doesn't necessarily digest protein as readily as you might think it would. At any rate, um, regularity is something that I'm kind of looking forward to. We're not getting that, but we are getting things happening. Um, so yeah, that was a thing before the gig. Uh, yeah, I think that's all I got this time around. Um, so 2 weeks, and then we're doing regular foods where I can add real things like, I don't know, a steak, a very tender steak, or um, I don't think I'm allowed to do starches or anything else like that. Oh, yeah, one last thing that I probably should have talked about was the difficulty of, so this pirate universe, I think I talked about some of my apprehension with respect to, I'm going to be around all this alcohol and all this stuff, and playing the pantomime game of I'm drinking, but I'm not drinking. I'm tasting, really. I'm kissing alcohol is what that wound up being. Is, kiss the bottle, I get a little bit on my lips. It doesn't go into my system. It evaporates almost on my tongue. I don't get to taste enough of it. I don't get to have as much of fun. So I have to sort of recalibrate what fun in the context of piracy is, which is probably going to involve explosions, gunpowder, firearms, things like that, cannons. Excuse me. So I don't get to do that as much when I'm playing. I got to find the time to do that. But my energy level's definitely up. And I guess the next thing also is hitting that gym, man. And we got to get over the whole sort of, there are people there and I don't want people to see me. Well, I guess I got to get past that. So that's all I got. And there were comments when I was there with people who hadn't seen me in a while that said I was shrinking. That's a good thing, I hope. Maybe it's true. I know I had some issues with wardrobe that I was grateful for the fact that my character wears suspenders because the belt wasn't getting it done to the point where I had some gangster action happening in my trousers or my underpants waistline is showing. At any rate, looking forward to the next one. Till then, take care, everybody.